about 10 minutes up the road here. And I'd like to thank Real Can for the opportunity to share our program and our school with you today. So actually to begin this afternoon, I'm going to show you a short 3.5-minute video that provides an overview of what Camperdown does.
Since 1986, Camperdown Academy has been providing excellence in the education of dyslexic children.
We celebrate dyslexia at the school. We don't look at it as a disability. We celebrate it.
Students that find themselves at Camperdown have typically struggled in the traditional classroom setting.
The schools only have the capacity to deal with so much, and generally it's not dealing with a dyslexic learner, and so there's a lot of tears from the student, a lot of tears from the family, a lot of confusion with the siblings who aren't quite understanding what's going on.
With a 3-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, individualized instruction cultivates an I-can attitude among students that translates to positive self-esteem and productive academic progress.
But I mean, what we try to do is, one, build up your self-esteem. Because if you think you can, you're most likely you're going to give it an attempt, and you are going to succeed. But if you think you can't, then you're just going to throw in the towel.
Well, this is a place where we're going to take care of each other. It sometimes takes a couple of weeks, but kids eventually realize this is a place where they're among their peers, and they drop the barriers, and many times after a month or two, they'll shoot us an email and say, I've never seen, it's been years since I've seen my kid happy or excited or back to enjoying school.
Camperdown uses the Orton-Gillingham approach, a multi-sensory way of teaching that is structured, sequential, and successful. Camperdown Academy is one of only 8 schools in the entire country that is accredited by the Orton-Gillingham Academy as both a training and teaching institution.
We look at their individual strengths, we look at their weaknesses, we teach in that multi-sensory capacity that we don't see in the traditional classroom. Therefore, regardless of where their strengths or weaknesses are, especially in the classroom, we're tapping all modalities of the children in the classroom.
Hands-on teaching is vital to a dyslexic learner and an important part of the Camperdown experience.
Instead of learning about monocots and dicots and taking notes and reading a book, we grow monocots and dicots and go and look at a lot of them every day and experience the difference between monocots and dicots. Instead of learning about how these laws of motion work, we build rockets and we launch them and test them using laws of motion.
Along with building confidence and teaching students new strategies for learning, showing students how to advocate for themselves is a key component of the Camperdown curriculum.
If you look at the stats, 35% of all entrepreneurs are dyslexic. You know what that means? They've learned to persevere. They've learned to overcome challenges. Nothing scares them. So they're willing to take chances. They're willing to think outside the box, and that's what a dyslexic does. And that's why a lot of our kids don't fit in those typical classroom boxes. They're on the outside.
I just love this school. I love the faculty, I love the students, and to see it when it clicks with the kids. And to see that kid start holding his or her shoulders up and making that eye contact because the confidence is there. And to hear a kid say, I can read. It's magical.
A lot of people think that it's special education, and really what it is good education.
To learn more about Camperdown Academy, visit us online at www.camperdown.org.
So last year we did celebrate our 30th year of providing excellence in the education of dyslexic children here in Greenville. And in addition to that milestone, we also were honored to be recognized as one of the top 50 best private schools in the country for students with special needs. As you heard in the video, we are also one of only 8 schools in the nation that is accredited by the Academy of Orton-Gillingham to be both a teaching institution and a training institution for the Orton-Gillingham Church. So we believe that the longevity of our program, coupled with the national recognition, is due to the success of our program, which really means the success of our graduates. So this first graduate, his name is Garrison Taylor, and he was a longtime pastor here in downtown Greenville of the ARP Church. He's now a pastor up in York. And what he had to say about his time at Camperdown and the success and the achievements of his life was, it's pretty good for a guy that didn't think he would ever make it past 3rd grade. Another success story is Tyler Dale. Tyler was so appreciative of everything that she learned and gained during her time at Camperdown that while she was in college, she would come home on her summer break and volunteer at our summer camp that we offered. And one of Camperdown's missions is to equip students to be successful not only in the classroom but also in everyday living. And that's definitely something Tyler took away out of her time at Camperdown. Another success story is Jay Wilson, and last year Jay was actually chosen by the Chamber of Commerce here in Greenville to be groomed as one of the future leaders of our community. So we are proud of Jay for being selected with such an honor. But as a struggling student in the early to mid-90s, Jay and his family could not imagine that he would one day be part of Leadership Greenville. So we have 30 years worth of alumni that have this similar story. They were drowning in a traditional classroom, they were unable to read, and they were feeling worthless and not having any self-confidence. But because of the academic foundation that they built at Camperdown, our high school graduates like Garrison, like Tyler, and like Jay are part of the 98.8% high school graduation rate. For students who have similar learning disabilities and who do not get that specialized, any specialized services, their graduation rates are drastically different. So in the state of South Carolina, students who have similar learning disabilities as those in Camperdown who don't receive any specialized services, their high school graduation rate is 56.5%. In the nation, that is 68.6%. So what happens to those students that are in the green portion, that 44% and that 32%? Well, unfortunately, they are the all too common high school dropout stories that I've heard of, you've heard of, you might even know personally, of a student who dropped out of high school and couldn't land a job, couldn't hold a steady job. They struggled with substance abuse, or they were constantly in trouble with the law. This is why a psychologist from Wisconsin by the name of Steve Dykstra calls reading the great vaccine. He says this: children who can read have a chance to come to school and succeed, leaving at the end of the day with more resilience than when they arrived. Children who cannot read will always go home with less. So a kindergarten student who can't read daily goes home with less resilience than that morning when they went to school. So every day, a little more of that child's resilience is lost. So how long until that resilience is actually fully depleted? Well, 3rd grade reading scores are being used to forecast the prison capacity. So success breeds success. And when a child learns to read, they are feeling that success. They are becoming more resilient and then will be more successful in reading to learn, which is our goal at Camperdown. So Camperdown exists so that way we can enable students, dyslexic students, to maximize their academic potential and to provide educational outreach to train and to engage the community on how to best serve dyslexic students and adults. So what is dyslexia? Well, it is a difficulty with the use and processing of written or spoken words. Language, right? So the prevalence is actually pretty astounding. 15 to 20%, or 1 in 5 students in a traditional classroom. So in this room, it would be 1 student per row would have a difficulty in the use and processing of written or spoken language. So these difficulties come out in lots of different ways. In addition to being admissions director at Camperdown, I'm also a classroom teacher, and I frequently get asked the question, well, isn't dyslexia just reversing or writing your B's and D's backwards? And I love answering that question because no, it's not. It's way more than that. Dyslexia really does cover the whole gamut of language. So whether it's going to impact your early development of language, it could impact your learning of the alphabetic code, spelling that linguistic code, understanding the language of math, or trying to use and learn a foreign language. Dyslexia can put up a roadblock of any of these aspects of language in a traditional classroom setting. So at Camperdown, as was mentioned in the video, we use what's called the Orton-Gillingham approach. This is a multi-sensory, phonics-based, structured, sequential, and successful approach that teaches students like Manny to build their language foundation and gives them the opportunity to experience success in reading and spelling, writing, and math. So when Manny started with us, his reading, language, and spelling scores, as you can see, were in the below average. After just 1 year with us, his scores increased into the average range based on the national percentile ranks of his standardized testing. We also serve students like Brian. Brian, unfortunately, has a different story than Manny. Brian was socially promoted for 3 years before he came to us. So whether or not his skills were at the 4th grade level and he could keep up with his peers in the 4th grade classroom, he was socially promoted. That happened for 3 different years. So by the time he came to us as a 7th grader, his skills were at a 3rd grade reading level and math level. So after just 1 year with us, those skills had increased into the 5th grade level. We also have classrooms of Avery's. These students are the students that Steve Dykstra talks about. These students are the ones who need to rebuild their resilience. However, there's no metric to measure your resilience or your self-confidence. In Avery's life, not having resilience in school meant headaches every day, throwing up every day, losing weight. So as a dyslexic 1st grader in a traditional classroom, Avery hated school. Before Avery joined us in the middle of her 1st grade year, she weighed 37 pounds and was continuing to lose weight due to anxiety and the stress of school. But after just 1 week at Camperdown, she told her mom, "Don't ever send me back to my old school." So we have a school full of students who share these similar stories to Manny and to Brian and to Avery. And parents tell us year after year after year of the changes that they see in their child. Camperdown is a school for students who need to be immersed in a different learning environment in order to build their confidence, their skills, and their success. So for some students, some dyslexic students though, they can actually thrive in a traditional classroom setting. They just need the appropriate support and the right support with the correct teaching approach. So the Orton-Gillingham approach can actually be taken outside of the walls of Camperdown. And Camperdown actually enables teachers, we train teachers across this region in how to implement the Orton-Gillingham approach in their classroom. So there are 4 different levels, and so that enables the teachers and even parents too to choose which level they need in order to best meet the needs of the students in their classrooms. So for every teacher, traditional classroom teacher that we train, they're able to reach approximately 25 students in their classroom in 1 year. And then the next year, 25 more. And then the next year, 25 more. So the benefits of teacher training are actually exponential. So currently, Camperdown is able to directly and efficiently teach 120 to about 125 students. But really that is our max capacity. We have no more room. Additionally, teacher trainings are limited to evenings and weekends and summers due to a lack of space. Over the last 5 years, we have seen a growth and experience of growth in our enrollment, but our purpose is not to bring every dyslexic child in the state into our program. We are seeking to provide excellence in education of dyslexic children, no matter what classroom they find themselves in. Children are on a waiting list, they're in a waiting pool in order to get into Camperdown, and teachers also are waiting for a spot in order to have this Orton-Gillingham training. And in our current facility, we are limited in our space for students and our space for teachers. So, what does crowded look like at our school this year? Crowded looks like hallways becoming classrooms because other students need that space. We literally play Russian roulette with our classrooms in order to make everyone fit. Crowded also looks like a back foyer getting turned into a classroom by hanging a soundproof curtain up as a back wall in order to make another classroom. It also means clearing out a storage closet so that way we can fit in 7 to 8 more students and make a second grade classroom. So we are in the middle of a capital campaign in order to increase our ability to reach dyslexics everywhere, whether that's the dyslexic student or the teachers wanting to train to teach the dyslexic students. So I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate the opportunity I had to share Camperdown with you, and I'd love to take any questions now or later. Yeah.
So if a family suspects that their child has dyslexia and they're in the public school system or another private school besides your school, how do they get the diagnosis?
The diagnosis.
What's the best way to go about if they suspect that?
There's lots of different avenues that they can go through. One avenue is here, CDS, so we rely on Clarity to do those evaluations. So you have to go through an evaluation with a psychologist. So that's offered through the private route, through agencies such as Clarity, or through if they're in the public school. And really, actually, it's available to any taxpayer in Greenville County. If you're in the public school, if you're in a private school and want an evaluation done, you can call your public school and they'll do it for you. So it is a requirement in order to be admitted to Camperdown to have that evaluation and to be diagnosed with dyslexia.
What's the response to the training of the teachers that you mentioned? Do you get a lot of response from various schools?
When they take it back into their classrooms,
yeah.
the same response we see as far as the success that they see in the students and the change they see in the students. So, as I mentioned, some students need that immersion. And so when you come to Camperdown, you're immersed in it for the 7 to 8 hour school day. And so if they're not seeing a change in their students, they're able to recommend to parents, hey, we've tried, we've put supports in place, and it's just not enough, so maybe you should check out Camperdown. But a lot of times they're able to see a change.
So like, is there an interaction with the public schools?
Between us and Camperdown?
But y'all accept testing through Greenville County schools?
We do.
And you don't have to do any other testing if you see the results you need?
Right.
And is every student, are they diagnosed with dyslexia that attend? Okay.
Yes.
What about the transition from being passed from year to year to high school if they do obtain their diploma? I have seen some, they obtain their diploma in their third grade reading level.
Right.
So what about that transition from high school wanting to attend college?
High school wanting to attend college with skills at a third grade reading level?
That's kind of out of the scope of what Camperdown does, because what we're trying to do is help students be ready for high school and therefore be successful. I think that would be really challenging. I mean, they'd have to probably go to a Greenville Tech or technical school or a vocational school because they wouldn't have the capacity at a college level to be accepted, right? So you're asking a question that's kind of out of scope of what we do because we're first through 8th grade. But we're looking at that ultimately to change that arc.
I have a couple questions. The first is, you mentioned you're first through 8th grade. Do most of your students come for that entire time, or do most of them come for a year or two and then transition back to public school?
Great question. So the average stay at our school is 2 to 4 years. So there is lots of discussion between the parent, the teacher, and even the child. The child has to have that recognition, the resilience, the confidence to go back into the mainstream classroom. So that's really our goal, is to mainstream these kids again. We don't have a high school, we don't intend on having a high school, and unless the parents want to go with them to college, they really have to be able to fly on their own. And so with the kid, it really recognizes, and you can see the difference in the child. Like in the video, she talked about that moment, that magical moment where the kid just starts to stand a little taller, hold his head up a little more. Then you can start having conversations with the parents about what that looks like. And the parents are having that conversation with us too. So average stay is 2 to 4 years, but we are also just providing an education for a dyslexic child. So we have students who stay first and 8th grade or 2nd to 8th grade. So.
And then my other question was about the summer camp you mentioned. Is that only for students that are there during the school year too, or is that, is there a waiting list for that?
There is, I do not believe there is a waiting list for that, and it starts on Monday.
Yes. I have a brochure. I brought some brochures for summer camp.
So it's similar to what a Camperdown school day would look like for half a day, in that they get math and language and art, and then the OG tutorial is what they would get, and the afternoon is more adventures and things like that, so non-academics. But it's not for kids who are, Camperdown kids can go, but it's not strictly for Camperdown kids. So definitely if you have someone who needs to maintain or be exposed to some more in Dillingham, it's a great place to start.
To be enrolled in the summer camp, does the individual have to have a diagnosis and so on?
They do not have to have a diagnosis. A evaluation would be helpful, so that way we know. It's a 4-week-long program, so you kind of hit the ground running. So the evaluation helps us know exactly where to start, but you don't have to have a diagnosis.
Thank you so much. Yeah.